So today I'm so excited to announce our guest. He is so special, and Ebert had lived in Japan for 8 years, and also he graduated master degree from that place. He is a busy person, but now we have him here. Please welcome Ebert. So Ebert, can you please introduce yourself a little bit to us?
Okay. Hi guys. My name is Bert. Yeah, everyone call me Bert, but someone call me Sira. This is my first name. Now I'm living in Thailand, but many years ago I have been in Japan for 8 years. I have been lived in Tokyo for 5 years, and next I moved to Osaka, and I have been there for 3 years. And now I'm working for a Japanese company in Thailand. Yeah, and I love my job. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Okay, Ebert, the first question is gonna be why Japan? Why it's not another country? Because at that time, Japan is not famous.
Yes, I want to study abroad, but I had no money. I had no connection. I had no friend in America or Australia or England. First time, I thought I had no chance to go abroad and study in America or Australia or England. Yeah, but one day when I work in Japanese company, my friend he suggested me about the scholarship to go to Japan and work and study at the same time. We call this scholarship is Yomiuri. Yomiuri is one of the most famous newspaper in Japan. Yeah, in Thailand we have Thairat, we have Daily News, Matichon, or something like that. But in Japan, they have Yomiuri and Asahi. I think everyone have heard about Asahi because Asahi, this name is very popular in Japan. You might know about Asahi beer, Asahi glass, Asahi newspaper. They are not friends in the business. But Asahi is very famous name for Japanese. I don't know why. So that time I got the Yomiuri Shimbun scholarship, and I made a decision that I have to go to Japan. Yeah, that's all.
And how did you prepare for your Japanese before you go to Japan?
I graduated high school and university in Thailand, so I didn't know about Japanese. After I graduated from university, I started to work with Hitachi Group in Thailand. When I talked to my boss, Japanese boss, I try to talk to them in English, but they don't want to talk with me in English. Yeah, they told me stop and wait for Japanese interpreter. So that time I know that English and Thai was not enough. I have to understand the third languages. After that, I got a chance to study Japanese at Thammasat University for 1 year. After I resigned from Hitachi, I moved to Hino Manufacturing Thailand, and I studied by myself for 1 year. It's been before I moved to Japan, I studied in Thailand for 2 years.
Do you mind if I ask you this question? How did you study by yourself?
I bought the Japanese book. Yeah, that time the most famous Japanese book was Minano Nihongo. Minano Nihongo is mean Japanese for us.
That's how you prepare your Japanese, right? And what about the budget before you go there? Did your family support about this idea, or you have to find the money yourself?
Before I to Japan, I known that I got scholarship, and that time I was working in Thailand, so I cannot ask some money from my family. So I have to prepare everything by myself. Before I moved to Japan, I got the last bonus from Hino. Yeah, about 5 months of my salary. Yeah, that's what my pocket money to move to Japan.
I'm just wondering, like, you get the scholarship, and when you arrive in Japan, what did you do for living? I mean, like the job. Did you have to find a job in there to be survived?
Yes, like I said, I got the scholarship from Yomiuri, so I have to work for this company. Yeah, like a newspaper delivery guy, and I have to work 6 days a week, and I have to go to school 5 days a week. So I have to work in the morning. I have to delivery newspaper, about 300 newspaper to my customer every morning. I started my job from 3 a.m. to 5 or 5:30 or 6 a.m. And after that, I have to take a shower, and I have to prepare myself, and I have to took the train from my home to Shibuya every morning. And my school started from 9 until 12:30. And after that, I have to come back to my workplace and I have to work again to deliver the afternoon newspaper from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. and I have to prepare something from 5 to 6 and I finish my job. I have to do it for 2 years.
Yeah. And what your culture shock when you arrived Japan?
Yes, I had a lot of culture shock because Japan is my first country that I been to. For example, if you go inside the train, you cannot telephone to your friends or you cannot talk to people loudly, something like that. Because the manner in the train is very strictly in Japan. Maybe if someone call you, you can tell them, I will call you back. You cannot talk them from your start point to the end point. It's very rude in Japan and people around you will blame you. Stop it.
Okay.
And someday when I studied in university, when I go to my university, I play Nintendo DS in the train. People who sat beside me, he told me, stop it so loudly. I don't know what did I do?
What's
He
wrong?
said, your button is so loudly. When I put up, down, A, B, so loud. Stop it.
Really?
Do not disturb me. Wow, it made me so confused. But I have to follow the Japanese rule. And one more thing, when you take the train, you can see the kindergarten student or the primary school student, they go to school and back home by own self.
I got one question actually. While you were doing your master degree, my question is, are there so many international students?
Okay, this is a good question. In Japan, if you study in Japanese course, you have to know Japanese language first, right? I think the number of foreigner students who come to Japan, I think number one is Chinese. And the second one is South Korea. And the third one may be Vietnam. And I think the fourth one is maybe Taiwan or Thailand, something like that. Because if you want to study in Japan university and you want to study in Japanese course, you have to know a lot of kanji characteristic. Yeah, kanji characteristic is not easy for foreigner, you know. If you want to study in University Japan, you have to know at least 1,240 kanji characteristic. I think it's very difficult to understand your class.
Can you tell us about work style or like work culture in Japan?
Okay, I think Japanese, they work very hard. Normally, people after they graduated from university, both of the men and women, they work at the same career. But after they get married, the women always resign their job and only the man who will keep working. Because after you get married, you have to take care of your family and take care of your children, right? After your baby grow up until 5, after that, maybe you have free time in a day. So you can work as a part-time worker. They can get about 1,000 yen per hour. It's about 300 baht. It's enough for Japanese family and it's flexible for they can manage their time because they have to take care of the children before the children go to the school, right?
Yeah.
They have the free time from maybe after 9 to 3 or 4 before the kids come back to the home. Okay, I want to move back to the man. The man, they have to work until 60. Japanese people, they work very hard because normally the management level that I know, they have to work until 8 almost every day at least. But some day they have the special job. Maybe they have to work until 12 or something like that. Nowadays, everything has changed because in the past, Japanese people, they have to work almost every day. They also have holiday and vacation, something like that, but they don't use it. If you use it, you will be the weak point in the company. But nowadays, the government focusing on this point and they change the rule that you have to use it.
Okay, if somebody is interested in Japan, like what would you recommend that you're gonna give to them?
If you want to work with Japanese company, I think you should study Japanese language as well because Japanese language is not just a language. Japanese language is a culture, the way of thinking, everything are combined to Japanese language. So if you want to work with Japanese and you want to join the Japanese company, I think if possible, you should understand Japanese language. I think it's benefit for you to work with Japanese guy because Japanese, they have the unique culture that sometimes is not easy to understand. But if you know the Japanese language and Japanese working style, the easiest way to understand what they are thinking, what they want to do and what they want to don't want us to do. And if you want to study in Japan, first you have to prepare the pocket money first, and next you have to prepare the Japanese language before go to Japan, because you can save your money if you study Japanese language in Thailand first. Yeah, no need to study the basic of Japanese language in Japan. Finally, if you want to study at the Japan university, you have to get the Japanese proficiency test. We call JPNT, level N5 to N1, as I told you. At least you have to have N2 or N1. N1 is the best for your chance to apply the good university. At least you have to have N2.
Can I add on one question? In terms of communications, if we were to study Japanese in Thailand, if we were to be interested to speak in Japanese, but we live in Thailand, do we have any communities or do we have any resources that allow us to speak more Japanese?
Oh, I think it's not easy. If people who want to study Japanese in Thailand, I think maybe they have to find Japanese people who want to study Thai. You can be friends, and like a barter trade, you will teach them Thai and they will teach you Japanese or something like that.